So this is just another quick short video to try and help some other prem parents out there that just maybe want to see a friendly face that can explain something not full of jargon. Yeah, if you guys want anything else specific, please just let me know. I would also love it if you could like and subscribe. It does massive things for my channel and would be super helpful. Thanks so much, guys. I just wanted to do a quick video on a term that I've probably used quite a few times in my previous videos. And I just think it would be helpful, number one, to understand what I'm talking about if it doesn't make any sense, and two, just to give some clarification to people that are maybe just getting into neonatal or having a prem baby and just want some clarification around the term itself. And that term is a corrected age. So yeah, let's get into the video. So you probably have a prem. I guess that's why you're watching this. So what we're going to talk about today is the terms corrected and actual age. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll have heard me say that there are no two journeys that are the same. No two babies going through neonatal will have the same journey. They just won't. I mean, there'll be lots of similarities and lots of experiences that you've shared and you can relate to with other parents. 100%. That was the whole point of me doing this channel, that we could have some people to relate to. But there is one thing that all prem babies have in common, and that is the fact that they will have two ages. They have their corrected age and their actual age. So their actual age is pretty simple. It's the age they are from the day they were born, just the same as any other human. Now, the only other thing that they have additional and a little extra thrown into the mix is their corrected age. Now, a corrected age is simply the term given to a baby's actual development, I suppose. That is the age that we have to work off for their physical and mental, I suppose, development. That is actually just their age from their due date. I'm going to speak a little bit more about that, so let's just get into it. Now, their corrected age can also be referred to as their adjusted age or their gestational age if it's before their due date. So if we really think about it, all of the extra growing they're doing while they're in neonatal or while they're still not at their due date, that's what they should be doing on our tummy. They should have been cooking a little bit longer. So they've still got to use that first however many weeks till their due date to catch up with all of the other babies that are still in their mummy's tums. So it gets to their due date and that's when their development starts. You cannot expect a baby that's born 2 months early to act the same as a baby that was born term. That's not fair. That baby, that prem, still has 2 months catching up to do. And it's harder because they're outside of their natural environment where they should be developing. They're having to digest food and they're having to breathe. All of these things that they shouldn't have had to do for an extra, in this instance, my example, 2 months. So anyway, I think the best example I can give, I've actually spoken about before in one of my previous videos regarding vaccinations for prems, but by the time my daughter was 8 weeks old and was supposed to have her first set of vaccinations, so 2 months, she actually wasn't due yet. She was due in 2 weeks' time. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. Babies are supposed to be 2 months old when they get vaccinated. She was -2, plus some. It's just bizarre. But anyway, that is a corrected age. Now, I do believe that some people probably overcomplicate this for mums and dads in neonatal because the corrected age is so simple, I suppose. It is literally the age from their due date. So if I use Grace as an example, Grace was due on the 1st of February 2021, but instead she was born on the 24th of November 2020. So she's 19 weeks old from the 24th of November, but it's only been 9 weeks since the 1st of February, which is when she was due. Therefore, her actual age is 19 weeks, but it's only been 9 weeks since her due date. So she's 9 weeks corrected. So if you put her next to a baby, a term baby, that was 19 weeks old, she would look, number one, tiny. Number two, less developed. Number three, just less old. She can't hold her head up, whereas most 4-month babies, I suppose, would be able to hold her head up. She's just starting to do that. Just the same as how if you put her next to a 9-week-old baby, she would look the same. She would look the same age and she would be doing the same things because she actually is supposed to be 9 weeks old, not 19. Now, the important thing to note is that all babies develop at different speeds. So where I said earlier, if you put her next to another 9-week baby, she would be doing the same things and look the same. It's kind of true, but not 100% accurate, because some babies do develop faster and some develop a little bit slower. So Grace may be holding her head up, and some babies may have been holding their head up for a week, and some babies may not be quite holding their head up yet. But it is a guide. So the guide would be that she would be developing along her corrected age. Otherwise, she would look about 10 weeks delayed, which would then obviously raise concerns that are not valid in any way. So that's why we have their corrected age. Now, just to go back to the fact that I said at the start of the video, there are 2 other terms, so 3 terms in total, that are used to refer to a corrected age of a prem. You've got your corrected and adjusted age, which mean exactly the same thing. The only thing that's slightly different is their gestational age. It is exactly the same principle, but I guess that is just the age given to them before they are term. So obviously, when Grace was 8 weeks old, she was 38 weeks gestation. She was supposed to be in my tummy and I was supposed to be 38 weeks pregnant. She didn't have a corrected or adjusted age. That made sense because she hadn't passed her due date yet. She was due in 2 weeks' time. But as soon as she's passed her due date, she has a corrected or adjusted age. That is not a gestational age. I hope that makes sense. Wonder Weeks. Now, this could just be a first-time mum thing or first-time parent thing, but I actually find the app really super helpful just to explain kind of... I'm sorry, can you hear those birds? How ridiculous. But my sister-in-law actually gave birth to twins recently and they were due 1 day before Grace. So it's quite handy for us to know that they are kind of developing along the same lines. Now, like I said, babies develop at different speeds. So the difference between Grace and both of the twins is slight, but it's there. They're doing different things. It's just how it is. But it is great, and it is a great gauge to see kind of when your baby's going to get a little bit more cranky and clingy and sometimes shy, and you can see them starting to do new things, and it's great because it allows you to kind of gauge when you should be doing certain things with your baby, especially as a first-time mum. I don't know when she's supposed to start supporting her head, or when she'll start to kind of giggle, or when she was supposed to smile. All of these things, I wasn't really sure when they were supposed to happen. I'm still not 100% sure, but it's great to see that, for example, Grace has just finished her 2nd leap. And it was great to know because she's pretty much in line with her corrected age on that app. And you will notice if you do download the app, which I think costs maybe about £3 or £4, once you download the app, it does not ask for their birthday, it asks for their due date, because that is what it's saying. All babies develop pretty much from their due date. So if your baby's born late or early, it still is applicable to just their due date. But our prems just take it a little bit further and have to have their corrected age stated in other places for other things. But yeah, I just thought that little tidbit, if nobody's heard of the app, it's quite useful. But I also understand why some parents do not like those kind of apps, because sometimes, even if it's as a guide, it can make you feel like your baby is developing slower than they should, even though they aren't. I totally get that, but I'm finding it really useful with Grace at the moment, and it's helping me keep track of her development and know that she is going along her corrected kind of age curve of development. So yeah, I just thought I would let you know that I found that super useful.